Hello and welcome to Palm Sunday. I'm going to begin by reading from Matthew chapter 21. When they neared Jerusalem, having arrived at Bethphage on Mount Olives, Jesus sent 2 disciples with these instructions. Go over to the village across from you. You'll find a donkey tethered there, her colt with her. Untie her and bring them to me. If anyone asks what you're doing, say, the Master needs them. He will send them with you. This is the full story of what was sketched earlier by the prophets. Tell Zion's daughter, look, your king's on his way, poised and ready, mounted on a donkey, on a colt, foal of a pack animal. The disciples went and did exactly what Jesus told them to do. They led the donkey and colt out, laid some of their clothes on them, and Jesus mounted. Nearly all the people in the crowd threw their garments down on the road, giving him a royal welcome. Others cut branches from the trees and threw them down as a welcome mat. Crowds went ahead and crowds followed, all of them calling out, Hosanna to David's son! Blessed is he who comes in God's name. Hosanna in highest heaven. As he made his entrance into Jerusalem, the whole city was shaken. Unnerved, people were asking, what's going on here? Who is this? The parade crowd answered, this is the prophet Jesus, the one from Nazareth in Galilee. Now that is quite a familiar story which we certainly hear every year at Easter time, but I wonder if you've ever considered it from the point of view of the donkey. I'd like you to sit back and listen for a few minutes to the donkey's tale. I'm just a donkey, a baby, the son of a pack animal who, when I grow older, I'll be useful to my master for carrying burdens and doing jobs around the homestead where we live. But at the moment, I'm still quite small. I'm still learning. I haven't really got there yet. Sometimes I look down to the road beneath where we live, and I can see these magnificent horses riding by on their way into Jerusalem. They're so beautiful, so elegant. They have long legs, beautiful shiny coats in different colours. Their owners are dressed beautifully. The riders look amazing on them. They look so stately, so powerful. Nothing like me. I'm always going to look a little bit scruffy. Bit of grey hair, often getting matted. And my legs are never going to be very long. I used to think I was insignificant until one day some men came to our homestead and they started untying me. One of my master's servants called out, "Hey, what are you doing? Where are you taking that colt?" And the strangers replied, "The master needs him." And no more questions were asked. The servants let them take me, and they led me away down the hill to the outskirts of Jerusalem, where some other men were gathered. I didn't know what was going on, but before I knew it, they'd put their coats on my back, and one of the men had climbed on me. I'd never had anyone on me before. I was worried I wouldn't be able to take the weight, but I found that I could. And I also felt strangely calm and peaceful. The man on my back seemed kind. And as we started to walk towards Jerusalem, more people started to gather around us, shouting and crying out. But they weren't shouting terms of abuse that I'm used to. They weren't throwing insults. They were cheering. They were welcoming us. They were laying their coats out. They were cutting branches off the trees and laying them in front of us like a carpet. It was as if I was one of those big horses with some stately owner on my back. But the man on my back didn't seem very stately, didn't seem like a big celebrity. In fact, he seemed quite a humble and gentle man. The crowd were calling out, "Praise be to God in the highest. Welcome to the King of Kings. Behold the Prince of Peace." And then I realised it was as if I was carrying a king on my back. And in fact I was. You see, those stately horses, they're usually used as signs of power, but they're used in war. They're often entering Jerusalem because they're either on their way back from a battle or they're heading out to one. Donkeys, we're a sign of peace. And I realised that I had the Prince of Peace on my back. I was carrying him in. And interestingly enough, those men who came to my owners and said the master needs him come to you as well. God comes to you. Just as Jesus needed me that day to carry him into a big fanfare in Jerusalem, Jesus needs you today to carry his peace. In these times with the fears over the coronavirus raging across our country and our world, people need God's peace more than anything else. And you might not be able to physically go out and carry it, but you can carry it in your heart and your soul. You can carry it in letters that you write, phone calls that you make, emails, texts you make to friends. You can pray to our God of peace. I'm just a donkey, but if Jesus can use me, I know he can use you. And he asks you to carry his peace today. May God bless you.